This is an overview of the differences between version 7 and version 6 of Poles and Wires. Version 7 was a complete rewrite of the software, and so it has a different user interface, but all of the functionality from version 6 should be present in version 7. There are several main differences between the two versions. First, let's look at the tip load module. In version 6 there are two tip load modules, one for working stress and one for limit state. In version 7 there is only the one tip load module, which you can see here, and the differences for limit state and working stress are determined by the load combinations, and so you can specify in options different load combinations up to 7, and for the working stress basically the load factor is all set to 1, and for limit state they are set to non-1 values as needed. You'll find in the user manual a description of setting up poles and wires for working stress and setting it up for limit state. So that's one of the main differences. The other is that with the tip load module, you'll see the grid here, which is where you put the circuit details in. This is the minimum amount of information that's required to specify a circuit, and in version 6 you would also specify the circuit temperature that you want to use for the tip load calculation. That temperature is now specified. If I go back to options, in the load combination you'll see that one of the values there is temperature. So that's a key difference. With the tip load module it'll give you the same results as version 6, but the information is specified differently. The other main area of difference is in the profile module. The profiler now has a CAD type interface where you can draw things on the screen and then you can manipulate them. Let me just give you a quick run through. So let's put a couple of ground line elements in. It starts off with a default level ground, but let's say I just put something in the middle here. And then I'll change this as well. So there we have a ground line, and then I'll put a couple of poles in here. Let's say pole 1 at change 10, higher than ground 10.2. Pole 2 at 88 metres, 9.8 out of the ground, and then pole 3 at 168, and I'll just use a pole out of the database. Let's just pick that one. I don't know offhand what that pole is. Refresh, zoom extents, and so now we've got the poles in there, and then I'll add a conductor, a strain section onto it. So this interface is different to version 6, but the same information is all present. Hopefully this version is easier to use. I'll use Raisin, strung at 12%, a couple of temperature conditions here. Save it, close that interface, and now you'll see there that the circuit details are presented. One of the benefits of the CAD type interface is now as you move the mouse around the screen and put it past an object, I just put that over the pole, and you'll see on the right in the frame of the window it says pole 2 at change 88, or if I put it over a conductor, you'll see it has the circuit information coming up on the screen. So the interface here is a lot more intuitive, hopefully. If I want to move a pole I can just click on it and then drag it over and everything gets redrawn. Another feature of the version 7 profile module, if I go into the pole information and go to pole details, it presents to you the tip loads on that pole based on the existing settings that were already made there in the tip load options. So you can see as you go from pole to pole, you can also then see the tip loads based on the information that's in the profile. If you needed to make a change to that pole with something that you can't specify within the profile. You can specify a stay, you can specify an item of plant, but if there's something else that you needed to do, for example, add a tee-off, you can then open that pole in the tip load module. It takes the information out of the profiler, and you can add your tee-off, or you can add make some other sort of change that you might need to make. And so that's the additional features that are available in connection with the poles. Other than that, pretty much everything that's in version 6 you should find here in version 7. There are some additional reports available, I think, a different type of circuit details, etc. So that's the profile module. I'll just close that. Some of the other modules that are in the program they've been redrawn. Additional information has been presented. If I look at the sag tension module now, which just does the basic one span, if I was to use that Raisin conductor again and calculating the results, it now gives you additional information like catenary constant and that sort of thing. But pretty much you'll find that it's all there. The pole strength, the wood pole strength module, again in version 6 there was 2 modules for working stress and limit state. They've now been combined into one module, but you'll see the safety factor or working stress method, the limit state method, are available within the one module instead of having the 2 separate modules. Really that's the key things, the key differences between version 6 and version 7.